might be time to move up.
To y'all, man, 2 cents be on point. She be on point, bro.
Appreciate it.
Blonde, for real.
Appreciate
She
it.
talking facts. Like, you the first one to say it.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be discussing Jaron Boots Ennis and some pros and cons of him moving up to 154 pounds. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Jaron Boots Ennis and his inability to get top-level competition fights at the 147-pound division. Recently, there was a fiasco between Boots Ennis and Brian Norman, and Brian Norman saying he wanted $2 million, $2.5 million, whatever he wanted to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. And Eddie Hearn basically saying, no, we're not paying you that. We basically already offered you enough with the 1.5, 1.7, whatever it is that we offered you. Basically, take it or leave it. So that led to a lot of people questioning, will Jaron Boots Ennis be able to get any top competition or any belt holders for that matter at the 147-pound division, or will he be left stuck fighting his mandatories? Now, from my understanding, he went over to Eddie Hearn to make money and stay busy, but he did mention that his goal was to be undisputed at the 147 pounds. So I don't know if that was a goal that he talked to Eddie Hearn about and kind of put him in charge of making that goal, or if the staying busy and the making money was more important. So what I wanted to do in this video is just talk about some pros and cons that would possibly be beneficial for Jaron Boots Ennis if he moves up to the 154-pound division. First, let's talk about Ennis. Now, a lot of people say Ennis is a big 147-pounder. He's basically shrinking his body down, cutting his body down to make the 147 pounds. But it has been noted that he could probably fight all the way at 160 or 168. Kind of similar to Earl the Truth Spence Jr. He was a big guy, but he was shrinking down to 147 pounds in hopes of also being able to capture the undisputed championship in that division, which he was unable to do. So if Ennis was to move up, he possibly would have more power, more stamina, and he wouldn't have to drain himself down so much in order to make the weight. So he possibly could physically be in a better position at the 154 pounds because he's not cutting down to make the weight. Also, moving up could open doors for more high-profile fights, so to speak. The 147-pound division right now seems to be a little dry. You know, there's a lot of people saying it's a little dry and there's really no competition there. And even if he did make a run in the 47 division, he wouldn't kind of get those accolades and those credits because of the people that he fought in order to get to the division. You go up to 54, you got Fedora there, you got Virgil Ortiz there, you got Terrence Crawford there, you got Charlo there, you got plenty of people at the 54-pound division that are, you know, some are big names, some are bigger names, but these are notable names in the division that Jaron Boots Ennis would definitely get credit for if he was to beat these opponents. And there's always Terrence Crawford there, which I doubt they will ever fight. But as long as Terrence Crawford is not retiring and he's fighting, people will always mention and talk about that fight. And maybe it'll be more competitive for him to receive those titles. So if he can capture undisputed at the 54-pound division, I think that run would be way more notable and he would get way more credit for capturing all those belts in that division than he would at the 147 pound division. It's a lot of up and coming fighters at 54, and it's a lot more elite fighters at 54 than it is at the 47 pound division. Now, I never heard Boots Ennis say that his goal was to necessarily become a boxing superstar, but he definitely has the star power and the skills to be able to do that. He definitely entertains people enough in order to be a pay-per-view star. We just have to get him into the eyes of the people, fighting more notable names and more fights that the public perceive to be competitive. Now, also moving up, just to list a few cons, which aren't really cons, just things that happen when you move up in the weight division. He would have to get acclimated to the weight. Of course, he would need to adjust to the size and the strength of the other opponents, because going from 47 to 54, that's kind of a decent jump. And the opponents up there at the 54 division, they do have more power. They are going to be able to take your punches better than the people at 47. So there is an adjustment that he's going to have to make. And if he goes up to 54 and he doesn't look as dominant, which I doubt, which is reason number 2 for me, is he could lose market value. If Jaron Boots Ennis goes up to 54 and he kind of loses that mystique of being dominant and able to move around the ring and switch and fight in slow motion, do all this stuff he was doing at 47, unless he's fighting like elite top competition, if he's struggling with like the lower names, like those fights you fight while you adjusting to the weight in the division, he struggles with them and doesn't look as dominant, that could hurt his market value. But I would hope that he will move up and jump right into some of those notable name fights versus playing around trying to quote unquote get acclimated to the weight, because people are just sitting around waiting. They're waiting on Boots to become this star that everybody can see. We all see the potential. We're just waiting for the management team, the promotion team, and everybody to put everything in play to get the ball rolling so that he could reach those levels that he needs to be. So to sum it up, Jaron Ennis has opportunities at the 54 pound division if he decides to move up. I don't know, man, because you got to think PBC got control of the belts, a lot of the belts at 54. PBC got a lot of the smoke at 54, but he's with Eddie Hearn. So even if he was to move up with 54, who does Eddie Hearn have for Boots to fight in the 54 division? Let me know and drop it below. Who do you all think that Eddie Hearn has for Boots? But let me know what you think about Boots either staying at 47 and capturing all the belts and doing what he needs to do with all the belts. Would he continue to have issues with people trying to price themselves out because they got to cross the street and pay fees and pay taxes and do all that? Or do you think that it would be better for Jaron Boots Ennis to go up to 54 and try to capture some fights with the notable names up there? Not just the biggest names, but there's some big decent names, some credible fights that he can get and some credible wins, and possibly he can capture those belts. So let me know what you think by dropping your 2 cents below in the comments. Follow me on IG at 2 Cents Boxing. Follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 2 Cents 20. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video.